Hi, I'm Alan Ross with EPRA, and this is another EPRA Take 5. My guest today is Wayne Vick. He is the CEO of Infralogix, and we're going to talk a little bit about Infralogix, but welcome, Wayne. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you for asking us to come on board here and support EPRA.
Well, one of the things I want to ask you is you are changing the focus of Infralogix. I've noticed that from being a company that provides a lot of services, you still do that, but I noticed that you're moving much more into the consultative role. And you and I have had many conversations, and I have heard your passion for the problems out there, and you see a lot of problems out there. So obviously you've made that pivot, and you're now looking at how you're going to be going in as Infralogix to help people in a consultative role. So there must be some gap between what you see should be being done and isn't versus what is being done and maybe shouldn't. So can you talk a little bit about that gap and where Infralogix is going?
Yes, I'll be happy to, Alan. Again, thank you for letting us join you here. I think these Take Fives are very instrumental in helping our practitioners out there see their way or navigate their way through their journeys. And you made a very valid point. We've been in business for 40 years. We've probably been involved in 1,000 or more programs and various activities and organizations around maintenance. And you learn a lot from just being there. If you don't, you're not paying attention. So with that said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our business, and then at the end tie it back together with how this shift is making what we believe a positive impact to the market. Our business is really three service focuses, and those three service focuses for us is our inspection service line has been around for about 40 years, and it's primarily focused on PDM programs and their effectiveness. Then our other service group is our reliability consulting line, and that's got really two arms. There's a technical consulting side of that that's really primarily focused on the CMMS systems and leveraging those to really get the effectiveness out of those for the organizations that have bought those. And the other service group is more the business consulting around maintenance, and not so much at the reliability level, but focusing on maintenance effectiveness so it can contribute to the reliability impact of an organization. Because as we all know, reliability is larger than maintenance, but it is a big contributor. So with that said, one of the fundamental or core service or product development focuses that we have in our business is we ask the question, how do we make our solutions or services sustainable for our customer? And when you ask that question, it poses a whole different perspective on how do you organize them, how do you deliver them, how do you show value of them, how do you educate the customer on what they're getting and how to use them. And that brings a whole different paradigm shift to what you're doing and why you're doing it, even as a service provider. So to sum that up, I think what we've realized in the marketplace is we have a lot of customers that have the right people, they have the right equipment, they have the right tools, and they have the right intentions, but they don't ever seem to get there on the journey, and we ask why, and consultants come in and go, programs get started and go, why does this keep happening? We've got customers, and we're very proud of, that we've serviced on predictive maintenance for 40 years. And we've done inspections in their plant the same month every year for the last 40 years. So we have to be doing something right to be there that long, regardless of a lot of the other factors involved. And when we asked that question and looked into our customers, we got some answers we didn't expect. One of those answers were that we've moved into a phase or evolution in the industrial marketplace where information is almost as important as the physical tools our workers use. We give our electricians power quality meters to go out and find the power quality, issues going on in a system, and they can technically deduce all that and diagnose all that, but we don't give them the information tool to know what piece to go look at, to store the findings, and to be able to look at findings over time to see if there's issues going on there or in other places. And that information tool is just as important to building a knowledge worker as that physical tool is to building a skilled worker. And we're looking at how do they get put together. you know. The second thing that we've learned from the marketplace by looking at this is we have a lot of organizations and fellow competitors that focus on people and processes. We got to have the right people and we got to have the right processes. And I would not disagree with that to any extent. But a two-legged stool is very hard to stand on. We don't have many people that ride unicycles, you know. It's
Yeah,
really, in our eyes, a three-legged stool. And that stool has got the people. We got to have the right people, the right places, doing the right things, that have the right skills. We got to have the right processes if we want them all doing that. If not, you know, the punter's throwing the football instead of the quarterback. And we all know football would be ugly if that took place a lot, you know, but that's not the case. The third leg on the stool, we feel like, is platform. And that platform, in many cases, is the CMMS in these organizations that tie the activity and the people to the processes so that we have a way to manage what we're doing,
yeah,
govern what we're doing, and optimize what we're doing, and ultimately show leadership its impact. And unfortunately, that often gets the least amount of attention. And that's not because it's not deserving. It's often because the skill sets don't exist in the organization to do it. Because that takes three areas of focus. It takes a system requirement understanding of what that system can do. It takes a technical understanding of how we want to use it, which typically maintenance can do, and
yeah,
IT can do the other. And it also takes a business requirement to look at what is the business trying to do to make sure those other requirements are defined. And all three of those requirements form what we need to accomplish. And many organizations struggle with that. And I think
yeah,
from a shift standpoint, our business has moved towards focusing to that three-legged stool and focus to building skill sets and solutions in our organization that can help customers see those three requirement groups and build roadmaps to get to those successes. So that's really what the shift has been, why we shifted, and the impact we think it can make. So with that said, I don't know if you have any questions. I kind of covered a lot fast, but
well, we're on a take 5, so we've kind of run our 5 minutes, but I do have one comment. I've watched this shift take place in your mind, and now I've seen how you've actually positioned the company to do that. I can only affirm that it's brilliant, because what you said is exactly the problems that I have seen out there. The disconnect between using a CMMS and taking the people and processes. So much of what they do out there has just been repeat and rote, and it really hasn't led to anything. So I applaud what you're doing at Infralogix, and I thank you for sharing that with us and sharing that with our audience and with our membership. This has been another Take 5 from EPRA, and our guest again is Wayne Vick of Infralogix, and we would encourage you to get in touch with Wayne. And if you at all wonder what he's talking about, because you have a sense that there's something there, he can explain that to you. I just sort of gave him 5 minutes, but he can explain that to you in as much detail as you'll need. But thank you very much, Wayne. Have a great day.
thank you.